So how many people are actually going to listen to what I have to say? We'll see. All right, so first of all, the title. I just want to get something out to you guys because I feel like some of you're just kind of missing the point. Newcomers to the project, potential backers, when they look at the comment section or even, on Reddit or, RSI forum or Spectrum, they're looking at the personal attacks and they're looking at the copy-paste arguments. The same stuff that's been out there since, the dawn of Star Citizen. You don't understand game development. Lots of cake baking for whatever reason. And then, the dogpiling. That's like the big one. Take a step back for just a second. It's a game, it's a concept in development. And this is where the stage of, constructive criticism is basically its most important right now. Because once you get so far in development, you can't go back. And I've mentioned that in some of the other videos. This brute force attempt to stop and discredit critics isn't having a positive effect on the project. And I don't think some of you guys are kind of seeing that. Many people new to the project, some of them have just backed, some of them are considering backing the project. They've contacted me. I'll summarize most of the responses. Number one, and this is the most common I get back, is, you're getting personal attacks over a video game. And most time are saying they're not even out yet. And that's kind of where to start, guys. Because, I guess you feel like, trolling or personal attacks somehow discredits me. It doesn't. It discredits you in the project. Because most people aren't that far into the game yet. They're looking at this and they're watching, people just attacking everything about me. And they're like, it's a game, and if you consider my arguments valid or not, we'll get to that later. The second thing, the big thing people keep talking to me about is, this is the community I'll be playing with. And that's usually a question to me. Like, these are the people that are going to be in the game and flying around me or flying on my ship. This is the people I'm going to be dealing with. And let me tell you guys something. A toxic community is a number one turnoff for a lot of games. Games that aren't that bad, but with the community like Rust. I mean, Rust is fun and all until you've played it for a year or even less. And it's, like I said, the community, man, that's a huge aspect of a game. And I don't know if you guys realize when you start doing these kind of things, that's what people see. And the third thing is, this is one I might get a lot too. How are these people going to deal with losing something in game or losing in game? How are they going to deal with it? Because, if they can't take a criticism about the project, how are they personally going to deal with personal loss in a game? Some of these guys are just going nuts about what I have to say, and that's something I hadn't really thought about. That's kind of a big deal. If you can't take criticism about the game or development, how are you going to deal with losing a ship? The death of your character you've been playing for a year. How are you guys going to deal with some of that? And the less common response I get, but I do kind of want to throw it in there because I've said it myself. People are saying like, you didn't even say that in the video. Why are these comments saying this? Or what was that about? What were the comments about? And guys, people are seeing that. Like I said, people that have nothing to do with Star Citizen, some of them haven't even backed yet, have heard about it or kind of wanting to get into it. And they happen across one of my videos for whatever reason. And they're watching the comment section and they're like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to touch any of that. And it has nothing to do with what I said. Some of them have even said, I watched a minute of your video, was scrolling down the comments and just decided not to back the game just on the comments alone. So you guys need to think about that. I'd like to point out that there are some of my viewers who completely and wholeheartedly disagree with what I have to say in my videos, period. Some of them 100% disagree. It's the way they approach the conversation that makes the difference. And number one, they don't use blanket statements, okay? And number two, they don't use copy-paste arguments. They don't use personal attacks or discrediting tactics for that matter either. Learn from these people. I've said before, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with me, okay? I don't even delete comments because I don't believe in censorship based on difference of opinion, okay? I don't like that. I'm not big on that at all. And honestly, I leave the comments up because I don't want someone coming into the project to have any kind of false impression of the current community, because it didn't used to be like this. But I don't want, like I said, I'll leave them up, even if they're troll or personal attacks or, there's a 2,000 word essay on why I'm a douche. I leave it up because I want people to see that. Because if I'm just talking about the development, like I said before, people are going to see that. That's not good for the project. But I don't want to give any kind of false impressions by deleting that. The next thing I want to bring up, do my videos have impact? No, No. Judging by the view counts, no. Judging by the comment section, no. But I'd like to point out, I've had someone who's, I don't know their motivation, I don't know, but they're kind of pointing something out to me. And they're sending me links, and basically some of my most vocal critics are actually using my arguments now in other YouTube channels. And they're using mine, like my side of the argument, like not against what I said, but what I said as an argument to other people. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they can hate me all they like, but does that mean my points are valid? I mean, part of me thinks, I can't take credit for anything because most of my arguments are pretty obvious. But, maybe they don't want to show agreement with me on my channel. I don't know. Most of the people who are using my arguments are commenters I try to push into a conversation. I'm at fault for that. I should have been smarter about it. But, after years of trying to slowly get people into conversations, I started pushing back. I was hoping for some kind of breakthrough. That's not the right approach. I wasn't doing it right. So if you've taken the time to watch this video, great. I don't really expect many people to. A lot of people, like I said, I don't know. They feel like if they can defend the project, it somehow helps. And a lot of the issues that have been brought up, a lot of people just kind of glaze over, hoping, I don't know. It seems like a lot of people think if they stick their fingers in their ear, bury their head in the sand, that somehow all this will go away and fix itself. I don't understand that kind of mentality. So this is the part where I talk about my next projects. I'm going to be doing a video on how everything's changed back from when because I stalked the forums all throughout 2013 period. And then I didn't join until August 2014. And I just kind of want to bring up the project's changed a lot. And just to kind of touch on that for the next video, honestly, guys, if you look back, it was kind of Freelancer 2. It was a single player. That was the main focus with Squadron 42. And the multiplayer MMO was kind of tacked on. That's something we want to do later. We're going to focus on getting Squadron 42 out. They'd already talked about, expansion packs they'd already talked about the expansion, the discs for Squadron 42. It was going to have co-op and all this, and the project changed. It switched. It switched from the focus on Squadron 42 with kind of Star Citizen on the back burner as a later thing to now we've switched over to Star Citizen MMO is the number one thing, and Squadron 42 is like basically not getting worked on, I guess. They can make concept cells for ships that aren't going to be in Squadron 42. And that's kind of, I don't know. We'll talk about that in one of my next videos. I just want to kind of bring that up, that we've switched from this, like I said, scripted single player, cinematic experience with multiplayer tacked on like Freelancer was. And we've kind of flipped it. And now we're focusing on basically, it's like Second Life in space. You're going to have, eating and toilet use and pets. It just goes on and on. So yeah, or I guess that'll be one of my next videos I kind of want to bring up. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it. It's Wednesday, and I just kind of feel like I should kind of get this out because, I've had a lot more people talking to me being like, like I said, some of them haven't even watched my videos. They were watching them and scrolled down and just didn't want to touch the project anymore. And it's because of this quote unquote white knighting. Like I said, you can defend the game you want to, the development, the, developers themselves. You can defend all that. Just you've got to find a better way to approach it. Because, like I said, there's people that have a brain that haven't really got into Star Citizen yet. And when they see this kind of stuff, like I said, it's a community that drives a lot of this. They're not even talking about CIG, not even talking about the game anymore, just a community. And they don't want to be a part of it. And that's kind of what I was hoping. I would get conversations going and people could actually have discussions, but it's, that's kind of pointless now. I see that. Because the only way to get really people talking is to push them into conversation, and then they just hate your guts for the rest of their life. And they won't listen to anything you say. But then again, they'll go around and they'll use your argument. So, you can make valid points. And I guess that's my fault. I didn't do it the correct way. But, like I said, after years and years of this copy-paste crap and just dogpiling and discrediting, like none of that works, guys. Like you may feel like you won an argument using that, but the people looking at that, no. The people that have anything against the project can use that for leverage. Just remember that. And the people that, like I said, are just stumbling into the whole thing, when they stumble in and see that, they don't want any part of it. But anyway, yeah, y'all have a good weekend. Even though it's only Wednesday, I'll catch you around.